Yeah, that's good enough.
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah. What up, Garage Pod?
Good bud.
2013-14 edition.
With our hot mess.
Hot mess.
Our hot mess post draft.
Post-draft. Sponsors, there we go.
Yeah, speaking
Our
of
unofficial sponsors.
Speaking of our sponsors.
Yes. Thank you, Jägermeister and Red Bull. If you want to sponsor the Garage Pod, please get in touch with us. You can contact me at jbond33007 @yahoo.com, or what's your email? Something like that, yeah. But here we go. 2013, rocking it out. And calling it to order. That's going to be loud.
Yeah, that is loud. That's gonna snap for people though.
For those of you that are regular viewers, you'll notice that Clint, what's his 2PC Clint, Total Chaos.
Yeah,
Total
Chaos. What was it? Clint the
yeah, whatever. Total Chaos, 2K, Y2K. He's not with us tonight. He is got a new job where he is traveling a lot more.
south of San Antonio.
South of San Antonio when we talked to him today. So there is a good chance we may see him periodically here. In the meantime, you've got myself, Kevin Riley of the Emerald City Lanterns, and
myself, Aaron, the self-proclaimed fantasy guru.
Somebody's got to take up those monikers now. Cause
yeah, well, that's why I said Clint's was that's what I was trying to come up with.
I know. I was just throwing out team names there, so you know.
A little shout out to Naughty Gnomes, first golden trophy, last year's winner.
Yes,
we had a pretty festivus draft. That was
awesome.
Jaeger infused.
Yes.
Mad props to all that made the trip. B, dirty. We'll just keep this G-rated because
I won't dirty whore. Just cause.
Cost me my tight end, but it's all good. We'll go down that road here in a little bit, but all that being said, mad props to Erica in the winner last year and
first woman to win the trophy.
And she got the bling.
The trophy there with the bling.
She got her ring and she got a good mad bedazzled ring. So.
Is that the only ring she's gonna see?
I didn't do it.
All right. There we go. We'll edit that later.
So what are we gonna do? We actually didn't really prepare for this. It was kind of like a makeshift thing. Kevin and I Kev jumped in and helped me draft in another little sample league.
Yes.
With some friends down in Austin, which was kind of makeshift and crazy, but we pulled out some players and
those of you that have followed us before in the past, for the past 15 years.
Yeah.
About 15 years, we have been on the CBS Sportsline Fantasy Football League. This year we have switched to ESPN.
Yeah, so it's going to have to make some adjustments. The video actually won't be on your homepage, but it will be emailed to everybody via YouTube, we hope. Right now we're still trying to work out. We just figured out the audio a couple of seconds ago, so if this works, then maybe we can actually get it logged into YouTube and then email out to everybody else. We even have old school players in Gordomania calling up to find out where the podcast is.
Exactly, yeah. And we do have some new players this year, some old players who dropped out.
Some shout-outs,
so Gordomania. We do miss you, Gordo. But we understand, moving on and upward, and thank you for leaving some of your players in the pool this year.
We just definitely like entering Julio Jones on my team. Thank you very much.
I don't think I got a single one of your players, but that's okay.
Here's a shout out to Kelly and George. Appreciate you guys showing up for the draft and selected players. And
neither one of them had a clue.
Dude, Kelly,
I think Kelly was more on board than George.
George jumped in on a player high in, and we'll jump into that in a second. He was a homer early on, but then he started kind of drafting a little more tight to what we were doing, and then Kelly came in after the fact deal. I think he got 1 or 2 rounds out, and then she came in and she actually snatched out some players out from the team that I wanted. So.
She did. She did pretty good on that draft. And it's going to be interesting to see because now that we have 3 total teams that are all under one roof, essentially,
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
you've got
it's-
four.
It's
Yeah,
definitely
something
like
like- Oh, it's like all in bed.
yeah.
It's so incestuous. I'm getting.
That's all right. It's grown to a more of a family thing than
Right.
anything else, and everyone gets together, so it is what it is. So, you want to jump into? Cause I don't know how much. Normally we do like a certain window before we lose audio and video. So I don't know.
No, I got a lot of memory on this, so
Yeah,
and I can always transfer it to.
All right, we'll give it a shot.
Well,
do it in sample sizes, but
let's cover at least the first 2 rounds, and then we'll take a break.
Let's go with the first 2 rounds. Obviously, we've all played together for a while, so everyone has a lot of holdovers. We're looking at over the first round. You're looking at yourself with the number 1 pick.
All day AP.
Yeah, all day AP. Arian Foster going to me, so you got 1, I got 2.
There we go.
Rare Ice goes to Devin. With rookie picks from the year before, Brandon takes Doug Martin down to the 3rd. I take Trent Richardson down to the 3rd. That basically leaves Jamal Charles to Trudy. Opening up CJ Spiller in the first round. Deshaun McCoy goes to Mike as a holdover. Marshawn Lynch goes to Erica as a holdover. Aaron Rodgers goes to Bernie as a holdover. This is what you call basically a borderline dynasty league.
Right.
That opens up Calvin Johnson and Clint takes Darren Sproles. So basically, you've got 3 players going in the first round. So with that being said, first round picks: Christina at number 1, Brandon at number 2, John at number 3, all of which didn't have first round picks.
Right.
So they jump on basically not leftovers, but I mean the top tier of the best.
Right. I mean, those of us that held those first round players, obviously, we're not going to give up those. I mean, AP, until he breaks his leg or decides to retire or something like that.
Again, you mean?
Hey, he's got that bionic leg, so I'm happy with that. I mean, we've got those tiered players that are going to be there for us consistently in the first round.
And you like to build your team to a point where it's like your team. You've kind of like grown to watch those players. Some of them are on the teams that you like to watch. Some of the people you kind of adapt as this is your running back or your quarterback or whatever else it is. So it's kind of become like you kind of mold that into a
perfect example. 2 years ago, when Peyton Manning, John's player, out, missed an entire season, wrote him on the bench because he knew, hey, he comes back and literally it was a coin flip. Is he going to come back being the Peyton Manning of old, or is he a different Peyton Manning?
Right.
And so he comes back and really hasn't missed a step.
And signs onto a team with a stellar cast.
Exactly.
You get the addition of Wes Welker. You've already got 2 top-tier wide receivers. You've got a team that basically went to the playoffs behind Tim Tebow, of all people.
Absolutely.
Who is now on my team. Not for nothing.
Same amount of playoff wins as Tony Romo, by the way.
And so now, that was he was a player that got John into playing this league almost 10 years ago.
Right.
And that was someone that so he's a diehard. Even though he's on Denver, which is incestuous as it is, it keeps it in the family because that's Michael's team in Denver. So I think he was hard pressed to not go after Andrew Luck. I know he wanted him. Devin jumped a couple spots, took him. That became his
his franchise quarterback.
Bringing up his franchise quarterback. So there's a couple players out in the first round. We're looking at the first 3 picks. Christina at number 1 available. She takes CJ Spiller. Brandon, Calvin Johnson a bit high for the first round.
But he was screwed as far as who his holdovers were this year, because he had 3 players that were in the first 3 rounds.
Well, he wasn't screwed. He was in fact that he had locked down Doug Martin in the 3rd.
Yeah.
He had locked down players that it put him in a position, and he was actually with where his pick fell. There was only 3 players available, and it was C.J. Spiller, Calvin Johnson, and Alfred Morris. And although I had Alfred Morris last year in a 2nd round pick, that was the best available at the time, and with the holdovers based on everyone else had. Christine with the first round, Brandon taking Calvin Johnson, and John taking Alfred Morris in the first round. Everything else kind of played out as the first round would with all of our holdovers,
Right.
except for in the
Trudy.
12th pick.
Was it Trudy, right?
Well, no, Trudy had Jamal Charles and Calvin Johnson, and
Coin
well,
flip. I'm both players first round.
yeah, very true. But as shallow as the pool was for running backs, I think it was best for her to take the running back, and I think she came around to that. As much as she had was a homer on Calvin Johnson, she decided to go with the running back, as shallow as that pool was, leaving Calvin Johnson to Brandon with that pick, and the surprise pick in the first round, George, New York Giants, jumps down and grabs Victor Cruz.
Way early.
Way early.
Way
like
early.
literally like four rounds early.
Right.
How much do you think that's going to hurt them?
I actually think it will. I mean, because the Giants are a weird team this year. You know, they're an aged team. They really didn't do a lot of rebuilding. They've lost some players. You know, they didn't really add anything into it. And I think people have kind of figured out what Tom Coughlin is doing there, what Eli is doing there. I mean, don't get me wrong, Eli Manning is a great quarterback. Unlike his brother, who can go to any team and suddenly, you know, the offensive coordinator has the best job in the world. Because you now have two offensive coordinators on the team.
Sure.
Because Peyton's going to call whatever Peyton wants to call. And just kind of run it by the offensive coordinator. Hey, this is what I'm calling. And basically the offensive coordinator in Denver is going to go, okay, that sounds good. You know, but, you know, from what I know, friends of mine that actually know the Mannings, they know Eli. We're not talking baseball right now.
Hey, that's like Rangers maybe in the playoffs.
I know. But, you know, everybody says that, the friends that I know that know the Manning family, you know, Peyton, Archie, Eli, they say that Eli is actually the smarter of the two and the most athletic between Peyton and
I've never
Eli.
been the smarter of the two, but I think Peyton's even said that his younger brother is the better quarterback, and he's
Absolutely.
I can't.
Peyton's
say
got
anything.
one ring, Eli's got two.
Yeah, on my team. So
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's all good.
Yeah.
That said, I don't agree with his first round pick, but he was at back-to-back picks, and I like his second round pick. He got Steven Jackson, who has moved from St. Louis over to
That's right there.
Atlanta. I thought it was Atlanta.
Oh,
It's my quarterback. It's
yeah.
it's Matty Ice. So you've got now. Granted, there's a lot of throwing targets over there, but he's a receiving quarterback, and they have Tony Gonzalez has re-signed. You've got Julio Jones. You've got
Roddy
White, and now you have, because last year they had
that. Honestly,
Michael
I
Turner.
think
Michael Turner was just a waste of time.
he was LaDainian Tomlinson's throw off when he was in San Diego. You know, and he left to go to seek greener pastures. There's nothing wrong with that, because if you have you know, a quarter or a running back like LT, and you're only getting like the scrub or the you know, the garbage plays, and you are a quality running back, and you need to go out there and find the greener pastures. Unfortunately, I don't think Michael Turner, once he got to Atlanta, was the thing that they needed. You know, and now you have a guy there. Who was that again? Steven Jackson, who is definitely a much better running back. You know,
He's got
historically.
old legs, and he
does have old legs.
and he doesn't make it through an entire season. But if you get even let's say 8 games out of him, it's better than 14 games out of Michael Turner last year.
Your O-line between Atlanta and St. Louis, I think Atlanta has the better offensive line.
Their run game was stagnant. They've got a throwing quarterback. They've got a deep threat to where they have to respect the pass, and that would open up some stuff coming out of the backfield. And I think Steven Jackson has a really good year this season.
Absolutely.
I think that was an excellent pick.
He may
if
be.
You have to go back-to-back picks on the first one. I didn't like his first one, but I really like his second
may
one.
be the comeback player of the year. In
I
the
think
NFL.
he's outstanding.
Absolutely.
I would have loved to grab him.
Oh, absolutely.
You want to see if we can pause it and take a break to make sure this works?
We're going to come back and
Hit
see how
round two?
In round two.
Round two.
All right.
Back in two.